up, fine people? Welcome to the live show. We are going to bring on my special guest today. I'm going to give you guys some updates on the channel, on the grapelight.com, on things. We'll talk a little bit about TV show. I'm going to be a little bit more involved with chat tonight, I think, because I I don't know whether or not I feel like talking about the TV show, or if we want to talk about that more, or we want to talk about season 2, or we want to talk about the books, which is also what I love to talk about. Uh, so we'll kind of engage that way and see where you guys want to take things. But before we do that, let me go ahead and bring on my very special guest. I believe a first-time guest here on the live show. Let me go ahead and bring on Vance, the Bard of the Red Hand. What's up?
Hey, actually, not a first-time guest. I
Oh, that's
have
right.
been
You've
on.
been on.
I've been on with Lesby Nerdy once, and then I was on
Yeah.
at the very end of the New Year's Eve stream. Yeah,
Well, that isn't technically my live stream. That was a Tarvalin After Dark live stream.
that's true. That is true.
So, yes. I need to answer this question because I can't believe I was literally thinking about this today. Andrew, I am thinking actually about probably throwing out one video a week on it if I can manage it. I really want to do that channel. I just haven't felt. Some of it is going to honestly depend on how quickly we can get help for the grapelight.com. I don't know if some of you saw, but I'm going to be hiring a few folks for writing purposes on the Grapelight. So that's going to be doing some staff writing. We got to throw some yachts around. I mean, that Amazon money, my God, there's just so much of it. I don't even know what to do. Or wait, no, there's none of it. My bad.
Oh,
but
too bad.
I want to get back into focusing on that. And part of that is bringing in some people. I have a couple of partners behind the scenes that are going to kind of help run things with that, but I will be hiring some people. So I would love, if I have time, to get back to doing at least a video a week on Nae'Blis Reviews, which is my movie review channel. If you are not familiar with that, I have a movie review channel that has like 5 reviews on it. And I plan on doing a lot more of it. If you say
Very
so.
good.
Yeah,
Especially Dazed and Confused.
You have some stuff on your nose there, Vance.
Oh no, I like it. First off, I like the way you rate things and review them. Your entire breakdown system is just very, very in line with what I like to see. It's part of the reason I started subscribing to your channel in the first place, like way back when, before I even started mine. Come on.
Fair enough. My way of doing it is like over convoluted rating systems. That's what that is. So
that's what I like to get into.
We have some Nae'Blis Reviews fans in the chat. Apparently, my other channel that has a couple videos and hasn't been posted on in a year. So apparently, I've got some fans over there. Well, anyways, I'm thinking about getting back into it. The problem is when I started it before is also like when COVID shut everything down. And so at the time I was going to be focusing on like new movies, and then they stopped putting them out. So like
kind of hard to have a movie review channel about new movies if they're not out.
Right. And I didn't feel like reviewing stuff that we were watching on Netflix. It just didn't feel like as much fun. So
yeah.
I kind of was like, all right, I don't have time for this anyway. I'll come back to it. I never really wanted to stop, but I just thought I'll put this on pause. Of course, now Omicron's coming, and so who knows?
We may get shut down again. Who knows?
Right. But anyways, I love being a movie critic. It's not what I do full time, but I like it. So, and I get paid lots of money from places like Amazon to give shitty reviews of their movies. So
yeah, right. I mean, they're paying you tons to give like 6 out of 10s, right? Like, come on.
Correct. So
yeah.
Now I do actually want to pose a question to everybody. Well, actually, before I do that, I forgot. Vance, who the hell are you and why are you here? Tell everybody who you are.
So, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Vance. I'm the Bard of the Red Hand here on YouTube, if my camera will stay focused on me. I have a WhatTube channel, as I like to call it, where I talk about the Wheel of Time. Mostly I've talked about the books on the channel, but I have talked about the show since it's been out. I've reviewed pretty much every episode, and I'm planning on doing like a season post-mortem here, but I've been giving myself a little bit of time, and then I'm going to binge watch the season before I write that review and get out there, just so I know that I'm going to be that way I'll have consumed the show in like both methods, right, week by week, and then a binge watch to see if it holds up. Do not come to my channel expecting an objective review of the Wheel of Time. It is impossible. I have been, as you can see, that I cannot be objective 100% about the show. I will say things that I do and do not like, choices that the showrunners and writers make, whether or not I agree with them. And, I think a lot of fans who have read the books may appreciate that. Like later on, obviously the new show watchers are the hotness when the show is releasing, right? They're what everyone rushes to see. But I'm hoping y'all come watch me once I get my stuff out.
You should check out Vance. Vance does a lot of stuff in the community, actually. He's also a mod in my YouTube chat. So if you're nasty to him on here, he'll just kick you out. I think you're a mod, aren't you?
I am not a mod, actually.
Okay, I lied. Vance is not a mod. I guess that means I have to make one now.
I hang out with a lot of your mods, and I am a mod of other channels as well. Yeah,
fair enough. So. Well, you can find Vance at the Bard of the Red Hand, or YouTube at it's there. Okay, I can't talk. One of the other places you can find Vance, and this is a really bad segue, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. Vance has also been an occasional writer on thegrapelight.com in the past. Speaking of which, I can't even believe this, but let me go ahead and share something here. If I can figure out how to do this. Share screen. Window, Chrome tab. There we go.
While you do that, I see someone is asking where I'm from. I'm from Arkansas. There you go.
From Arkansas.
Yes, not from the Carolinas, unfortunately. Good guess, though.
So I just put this up actually before we started. You may have seen this, but the Grapelight.com, which is the website that we run, has a lot of places on it. Has the store. There's a wiki. It's an unfinished wiki, but it's there, and we're actually finishing it. You can find links to all kinds of creators, and then, of course, there's articles. Well, we are going to be hiring 3 different positions. Well, actually, staff writer might be 3 or 4 different people, so this could be like 6 or 7 people, potentially more than that. So I need some staff writers that will help write articles for the main page. We need some wiki writers. And then we need a social media manager. So you can find more about that at thegrapelight.com. You can literally look at the article and read this yourself. If you're unfamiliar with the fact that we had a wiki, most people aren't familiar with this, and we've actually put a lot into it. For instance, it's not done, but it's based on spoiler-free stuff. So if you wanted to look at Moraine, here's all this history of Moraine. It'll show up on your phone as well. It's actually going to get an overhaul here soon, but nevertheless, the wiki will be there. So we need more help finishing it. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. I'll go ahead and throw in there that for any of y'all who are creative and who like to write, but don't necessarily like the idea of maybe having your own blog to host or doing the whole YouTube spiel, writing articles for a site like thegrapelight.com can be a fantastic outlet for that, because it just gives, there's already a platform set up with an audience. You don't have to work on building that. Mm-hmm. 2, you don't have to put your face out there if you don't want it. And I think there's some nice strengths and a security blanket to some of that, right? So definitely, if you're a writer and you have wanted to blog or write articles, throw your hat in the ring, give it a shot.
Well, and I obviously I agree. So, and we're going to try to pay these people too. So this is not just a free thing. But in any case, we'll come back to that. I don't mean to talk about that the whole time. Here's the question I want to start with, and I say this not because I actually kind of expected this a little bit, and it sort of happened to me. I heard you sort of echo this. So since the show has ended, does anybody else have sort of like a content or Wheel of Time burnout? Like, is that something that's real for you right now? Here's the reason I bring this up, and then we can kind of talk about this. So I released a video this morning, and it's a lore video, so it's not really a TV show video. It's a new series that I'm doing called Wheel of Time Explained. Basically, I'm going to do backstories. I already kind of did this, but I'm just kind of formalizing it. And so I did a video on the ways today, which lore content never gets as many views as when I do TV show stuff. But I enjoy the lore content. That's what I started doing. That's what I wanted to do. But that being said, I released it and it got a much lower response than I probably expected. Now, some of that I'm chalking up not to the fact that people don't like lore content. I think a lot of people do. But I think that part of it is there a little bit of a small burnout now that the season's over? Like, I've seen less activity on Twitter. I've seen less things going on. And I'm wondering if that's a real feeling for you guys, or if it's I'll come back to it, or that kind of thing, or is that real? What about you, Vance?
I mean, I just know for me personally, like it's a little bit different because I am a content creator. I have my own channel, right? And when you start creating content, automatically your content consumption drops like really quickly because you don't have the time to watch all of it anymore.
Right.
So with that perspective in mind, I have not watched some folks that I regularly watch. Like Nae'Blis's channel is one that I've continued regularly watching. I did not catch today's video. I've not been watching Lesbian Nerdy's videos on the regular, and I was always trying to catch Jenny's videos whenever they hit live. Between, having the season out and then trying to get caught up on all the other TV that came out in December that I want to watch, plus movies that came out that I want to watch, plus, hanging out with my wife on the weekends when we're off work and doing home projects I'm trying to get done. I'm just like kind of setting Watt aside for like a little bit and focusing on some of this other stuff. I know that's just my perspective, but I'm wondering, like, post holidays, post all this other stuff, folks have been spending a lot of time with family. Maybe it's time for them to just step back and take some time for them and do other things,
Yeah, I get that. And I think, heck, even for me, I mean, partially last week, I thought I had COVID, but didn't, even though I had all the symptoms of it. So that put a hamper in making content. So, but like, even for me, like, there was kind of okay, I'm just kind of sick of, honestly, I think if I had to put my finger on it, it's actually less the show that had me burnt out and more the response from a small minority that had me burnt out. Like, I just got sick of, and I'm good at making fun of them and compartmentalizing that stuff. And even then, to me, it's kind of like, okay, I don't want to sort through 5,000 comments where they're like, woke of time is the first thing they say in the comment. I know. Right? Like, it gets annoying after a while. It's like, are you really that pathetic of a person that you came on? And even on the video I released today that had absolutely nothing to do with the TV show, people came on to say that the TV show sucked. And it's like, that was not even what the video was about. Like, what are you talking about? Okay.
Exactly. Like, if I go in my like YouTube comments thing on my dashboard for across like my last several videos, every comment that I haven't responded to is, the show sucks, the show is terrible, why do you really think this show is good, do you like it? And I'm just, it does get exhausting. I need to go hide them from view so I don't see them every time I get on my dashboard now.
Don't do that. Keep your metrics up. Just get Chansonnet to go in and troll them.
She did some work, actually. She's been doing some work.
So no, but I don't even say that to bring everybody down, because I've noticed. Here's the other thing on Twitter. There's just a little less going on, right? And it's not bad. It's not good. I don't think it's the end of the fandom. I don't think that at all. I just think there's a little bit of a honeymoon period after here where we're kind of like, okay. But I'm not going to stop. To be very clear, for some people who are worried that I'm going to like stop making lore content, not at all. That's what I like making. I've never actually really liked making like news content. I do it because it's a necessary evil in YouTube, but I really enjoy making the lore stuff. So, because that's really what got me into this anyway. I think there's mountains of things to talk about in the Wheel of Time. I've got more than 200 videos out, and I think I barely scratched the surface. So like that's where I'm excited to keep talking about stuff. So I'm not at all like, don't worry that I'm going to stop because of the response. That being said, it would probably be disheartening if I got this response on every lore video. So I think some of that is like, okay, because I don't normally. Does that make sense? And but in any case, I just bring that up because I wondered if that is a thing. And I know obviously I saw some people say this in the chat. Well, we're talking to the wrong crowd, because if you're here watching a live stream on a Monday night, you're probably not that audience. But I would also say this, you're right about that. But also, I'm wondering if you were getting the same feeling. Does that make sense? Like if that's the pieces you were getting a feeling for. So in any case, though, one of the things that I am going to do is, I think there is a ton. I forget who I saw bring this up. DK Moon, I think it was, that I do want to bring up some compare and contrast with the show. I still have all of my like I think I've got 5 breakdown episodes to make still, where I'm doing like Easter eggs for the show. And I want to do those. Don't get me wrong. I want to finish those, but I also have sort of like, I want to take a break from the show. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like at this point, those aren't new anyway. And I feel like everybody else is in the same boat. Like I really don't want to talk about the first season. And I will say this. I think that final episode and the response to it has hurt the enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you're I don't want to put words in people's mouths, because I hate it when people do that. But I don't think people are as excited and shouting from the rooftops about how good it was, because I think universally, for the most part, most people weren't thrilled with episode 8. Is that fair? Like,
my non-readers liked episode 8.
Interesting.
They loved it.
Interesting.
So,
Cam on Camera, thank you for the donation. The World Hoppers crew was not kind to the show, but all good. Who is the World Hoppers? That's not Shad, is it?
No. I think World Hoppers podcast is Cheyenne Sedai, I believe.
I don't think I know her. I wasn't super kind to the show. Like,
I was very kind to the show, actually, because I'm the kind of person who I don't dwell on things I don't like very much. And on top of that, on first viewings, I'm just excited about anything I watch. It takes me like 2 or 3 times to be like, I don't know about this.
Andrew, I thought about making that very video, and then I just thought, you know what? No, I don't want to compare. I just want to do something that has nothing to do. Like, I can use the show assets. So I did, right? Because now we can put visuals to some of the stuff that we couldn't before.
Yeah.
Which is kind of really cool to be able to do. That's always been one of the hardest things about making Wheel of Time stuff, is there isn't a lot of art to actually make good visuals. Now, this is funny, Beth. You can't take me seriously without the wig. So hold on.
All right, here we go. While he does that, there we go.
I have thought about
Karen
this.
Johnson.
I have thought about this, and we have WL. Thank you again. Not Burnout. Just waiting for season 2 wig. I think it is time for some more wigs. And I'm thinking we have some sort of a weekly, like, I don't want to call it a contest, but a weekly level where if we achieve something during the chat, that I'll buy a new wig.
Interesting.
I think that is where I'm at with it. I'm not sure what that is, so maybe you all can help me brainstorm this. But
is that's kind of like what the Twitch hype trains or whatever?
Yeah. Twitch Avery, I loved your video today. The added animation gave it a new feel, and I dug it. Thank you. I honestly feel like that does add something. Like, there's a lot of videos that now I want to go back and remake. Number one, because I've made maps for them. Everybody keeps asking where I get these maps, and I'm like, guys, I make them. Like, that's where they come from. This is the one everybody was asking about. Why is it not showing up? There it is. Okay.
I love that one.
Well, Now, to be very clear, this one I completely made up. Like, if you can't tell, this is the world map with global warming. I just basically took every low-lying area and flooded it. Can you tell?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I would be underwater looking at North America there. Yeah.
And then I took, based on the descriptions of the Age of Legends cities, I placed them where they are. Sheol was an island. Visane is where the Kolam Dawn was. That's right here. Well, I guess you can't see my mouse, but it's basically in England. That's where the university was. Paradisen is right near where Constantinople is. Or I'm sorry, Istanbul.
Or Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Istanbul, not Constantinople. Yes. So yeah, but I make these maps. So, and I want to get back to making more maps. Actually, I've been working on the Camelin one, which is fun.
I remember when you used to live stream map making.
I know, and I may do that again.
Days.
I may do that again because this is the one that I'm currently working on right here. I'm a little further actually along than this now. This is Camelin.
Camelin, yeah.
Which you can see I place each building. So they take a while. I'm going to take these black lines. These are just my framework. These will come out on the final product. And of course, you'll have this will all be filled in around it and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, no, I may go back to live streaming some map making if people like it. Cam on Camera, do you think that the show would have been better as an animated series? Ooh, interesting question. What do you think, Vance?
So if you had asked me this when I was in high school and in full like weeaboo mode for anime, I would have said, yes, I want an anime adaptation of The Wheel of Time. But now I really want to see it as live action. And the reason I like seeing it in live action is it kind of dispels that YA notion in a lot of regards. I think animation, while I totally love and respect the medium, it definitely has that it's for kids bias against it, no matter how adult the shows or movies are. So, you know, Wheel of Time would forever be fighting against that, which it already has to be, considering some people think the first 100 pages of The Eye of the World is the tone of the entire series,
right?
For some reason. So,
well, you're totally dead on there. I have a mixed thoughts on this because if you had asked me prior to the series, I would have told you hell no. Hell to the no. I don't want to see an animated series.
Interesting.
That being said, I still want to finish out our live action, but I now want an animated series as well. Because what I think they can do in an animated series is the things they can't do in live action. Right.
Ooh, I'll say this. My camera went fuzzy. I will say this. If we can get an animated series that's similar in tone to the shorts, the Origins, but with, better animation quality and less like still images, that would be amazing. Because those things look like paintings in motion. They are properly dark or bright depending on the subject matter they're covering, and the music and narration in them is top tier. I would totally be down for that style of an animated adaptation of the series once, maybe after the live action is done.
Totally agree. Lodge Keeper, I'm assuming, but Lodge Keep. Thank you very much. You're very generous. Here's a donation to a wig. I think I am going to have to find a wig now. So we'll have to pick up a wig. I'm thinking what we'll do is, and this is usually, I don't think I've had a live stream where we haven't hit this threshold. Every time we get to $100, I'll buy a wig. So
it's pretty solid.
That way I'll have like a nice
units aren't cheap, right?
Units. No, they are not. That's why I don't want to get in the habit of promising I'll buy them. But we get to $100, I don't mind throwing the money at it. So, but I am trying. Part of the reason that I'm like money grubbing right now is I really am going to try to pay quite a few people to regularly write content, and that can get expensive. So, in case you don't know, we don't make a lot of money making Wheel of Time content.
I mean, even just having a YouTube channel gets quite expensive. I've still not crawled out of the hole I put myself in to start.
Yes, you have. Now, let me give you the words of somebody who has made this mistake for a long time and figured out what it was. You need to turn your autofocus off.
Aha, there we go.
Because you're not moving, you don't need it on. That's what it is. That's why your camera keeps getting blurry. I made that mistake many times.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So I saw a comment. I'm gonna have to scroll back and find this. Okay, 12. Nae'Blis, I'd like to hear you talk specifically about what you think the first episode of season 2 will feature. That will be a fun topic. I agree. That is a fun topic. Vance, what do you think the first season? And I guess I'll ask this to everybody out there too. What happens in episode 1 of season 2, which, by the way, has a title?
Oh, what is the title? I'm not up on that.
A Taste
Can't
of
remember.
Solitude.
Taste of Solitude. That sounds like a later chapter. Am I not mistaken?
I'm not even sure if it is a chapter, but
I'd have to look it up. I don't know. I don't keep I don't keep all of that up here. I have to go pull books out and
taking that out, because they
But,
they don't really follow the chapter titles anyway.
Right.
Like they're just misleading. So like what do you think based on what we saw? Where do you think we go in episode 1?
So episode 1, I think we'll probably be back at Faldara. We will get the obligatory Loyal and Uno and Agilmar are alive scene. And then we will, at some point, Perrin and Nynaeve and Egwene will be carted back to Tarvalon, where they will meet back up with Matt. And then they will begin the hunt for the Horn and Rand. Because I think Rand will still be off separate. And Moiraine will probably start looking for a way to undo whatever has been done to her.
I think those are, you can't really go wrong with any of those.
No,
I think we may see a time skip. Although the only thing that makes me think we might not get a time skip is like, what the hell happened? Like, how do you go? How do you come back from Loyal getting stabbed by the Shadar Logoth dagger?
Well, you just make the dagger not do what it does in the books.
Right, but then what's the point of the damn dagger?
I know.
That would be a poor choice in my opinion. Which I don't want to start shitting on it again, but like that's just a poor choice. Why would you do that? Right. So I don't think it has to like immediately touch them and then they like shrivel up and die, to be very clear. But there has to be some type of consequence to it and how dangerous it is. Because
see, I would be fine if they made it so where like you have to stab with the dagger and then the Mashadar like crawls back out of the person and then consumes who's being stabbed. It's a little slower, right? Like that would make a little bit more sense, I think, and it would keep kind of that lore connection. But you know, and then that gives them a way out of like, oh well, you can just get stabbed with it, but you weren't stabbed long enough.
Y'all, I'm about to piss you off. I'm almost of the opinion right now that I would rather them leave them dead, because there's been way too many I'm dead. Oh, no, I'm not. Fake out.
Yeah.
Like that is it's such an overused trope at this point in this show. Like the fake out deaths. I'm kind of done with the fake outs, right?
Yeah. They should have cut those out after episode 4.
Yeah, just stop with it. Right?
Yeah.
Like it
done.
Now none of the deaths have any consequence for anybody that we care about.
Well, this goes back to something that I think a lot of us talked about before the show came out, was we wanted to feel like there were stakes. And because there've been so many fake out deaths, I don't feel stakes right now.
Right.
And so I want to feel stakes, like Pat and Fane coming in at the end of episode 8, stealing the Horn of Valyr and stabbing a whole bunch of Shienarans should feel like it means something. And I'm sitting here like, they're going to, like one dude's going to be dead because we already know, because he's on a different TV show, and everyone else is going to get up and be fine.
Right.
So,
well, and again, I not to go back and rehash all the reasons that those changes happened. It's just it's at the point now where they didn't use Loyal enough to me that it justified him even being on the show to begin with. Like I would have cut him if this is how he was going to be used. Part of the reason I wanted to make a Ways video was to kind of, for anybody that wanted to understand it, where the Ogier ties to the Ways are. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I made it. So I think that what I would like to see in season 2, I think they're wrong if they don't do the Dark Friend social cold open. I think that is such a perfect cold open. First of all, it's a great prologue to the Great Hunt to begin with, because you automatically right off the bat know Rand definitely didn't kill anybody.
Yep.
Right. Second of all, they introduced the idea of dark friends, and then the big reveal is white cloak dark friends and Aes Sedai
Dark friends. Yep.
And you're just like, oh shit, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be an awesome start. And it's a good bit of they can do quite a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Exposition through Ishamael or whomever they have doing it, giving that information to whomever these cloaked figures are.
Yeah.
I think that would be a very cool cold open.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. It's a stronger cold open too than maybe the prologue to Eye of the World. And easier. It's more straightforward to adapt, right? Like it's not as confusing and you're not in a madman's head for a good chunk of the time.
Where I will be a little upset because I think it will lose a little bit is if, first of all, Egwene's captivity isn't horrifying. If they indeed do that, I think they need to do that. I think they introduced it, so
yeah,
let's have it be there. But which, by the way, is another reason why the Dark Friend social is such a good idea, because we kind of can suspect Leandrin the whole time. Right?
Yep.
So I like that. But I think that it's not that I think that I want to see bad things happen to Egwene, but I want the Shan-Chan to look horrible in a not mustache twirling evil way. That's why I hated that.
Right.
That's why I hated that fucking wave so much, because it makes them look so evil. Like, we're gonna summon a wave to kill the little girl on the beach because there's only no city there. Like,
it's antithetical to their purposes for coming back anyway, right? Yeah, it's they're in their mind. This is, and I think like this is something that should be obvious, but in the Shan-Chan mind, they're not coming to conquer. They're coming home. Like, that's the thing. They're coming back home.
Right.
This is their land. They never like to them. They never left. They're just coming back.
Well, you know what the Shan-Chan have? They have a to use a Harry Potter reference, like, they're not evil like Voldemort. They're evil like what's her face? The
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
Yeah.
Like, it's she comes across so evil and bad because she's so proper while being so bad at the same time.
Oh, and she believes she's right.
She believes she's right.
Yeah.
They believe they're right.
That's the same thing that makes the White Cloaks like actually terrible.
Right. That's what makes them compelling villains. And so they have to do some things that you can actually empathize with. That's where they really get you, is when it's a very compelling villain when you're somehow not empathetic to the sense that you could see yourself doing what they do, but like, you see them do something on screen that you're like, that's pretty good. And then they do something awful. And it's like, that twists that. Like, that makes compelling villains. So that's what I like about them. And I think it's so integral to Egwene's arc that she learns from them. And I like, if we're not going to kill these characters, I think that and again, I'm obviously glad they're not killing off the main characters, but stop faking out. You can make them suffer. Right,
without making it look like they're dead.
Right.
So actually, and I had a commenter on my episode 8 review who said, and they were a show only watcher, and they said, yeah, I thought Nynaeve was dead. I thought they healed death. And I was like, I think I said in that video, you can't heal death in the Wheel of Time, and that's not what happened, in case you were like looking at it.
Yep.
So
Aaron. Aaron. I'm sorry.
Aaron. I know that name.
200,004. Okay, thank you for that. I think Loyal will be used to track Fane via his connection to the dagger. Matt was originally supposed to do that, but Barney left. Interesting thought.
Okay.
I think they're going to have to introduce Perrin's Wolfie stuff.
Yeah.
Too. I think that is a good thought, though. Like, one of the things I am interested to see is how they're going to reintegrate Matt's character. Right? Does Matt reconnect with Rand, for instance? I don't see Rand going to Tar Valon. Just knowing what he knows now, I don't see him setting foot inside Tar Valon. So, like, I'm interested to see Rand's arc. I think A Taste of Solitude probably has a lot to do with Rand.
Yeah.
And just what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Beth got my reference. Aaron. You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea. No, I don't get
Darn.
it.
You ever watch Key and Peele?
Yes. But I don't.
Do yourself a favor, everybody. Not now. You have to wait till the live stream's over. Go watch Key and Peele's Substitute Teacher. And then you'll know what I'm talking about.
I don't think I've seen that skit, so I'll have to go watch it.
Aaron. All right. Anyways. I'm glad somebody gets it. Okay, so yeah, but in terms of the rest of the opening, I think it is difficult. I want to say we see a time jump because I think that we get the girls, maybe not at the beginning of the episode, but a time jump after the episode is going. Because I want them to get to Tar Valon as soon as they can.
Yeah.
My opinion, I think they need to get there because I think before they get taken back to or taken to the Shanshan, I think we need shots of them in Tar Valon. They need to meet Elaine.
Yep.
Maybe Min goes there, right? Like something like
Well,
that.
yeah, Min already left Faldara, so she should
Right.
already be in Tar Valon. I mean, they've got to get out of Faldara as fast as possible because they don't spend hardly any time there in the second book anyway. Well, we got 10 chapters and then everyone's on their way doing something different. So it's not super important.
I have totally sidetracked the chat now. They are all quoting that sketch.
So, I love it.
You done messed up, Ron. I need you to go down to Mr. O'Shag Hennessy's office. Anyways, I'm done. Okay. It's great though. Speaking of sketches, I think it's a good time, even though FYI, we are on at Tar Valon After Dark. We are on a 3-week break. So we will be back not this coming weekend, but the following week. That was the end of our first season. Okay, so we're doing these with seasons. We're taking a small rest and then we'll be back with some new content and actually some new bits too, which is kind of fun. But in case you've never heard of, everybody on here is going to be like, I'm so sick of Tar Valon After Dark crap. But in case you haven't, let me go ahead and play some, some commercials. So here we go. Here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey men, what I'm about to say could save your life. If you're a channeler of the One Power and have used the power in the past, the next 30 seconds will change your life. How? Well, I'm glad you asked. Every male channeler needs to have a good taint cleansing. If you haven't yet had that slimy oil slick cleansed off your source, come on down to Nae'Blis' Taint Cleansing Emporium. With just a little coin, you will walk out of there in just minutes with a completely cleansed taint. If you haven't yet had that vile black sludge taken care of, it's not your fault. The Dark One put that taint there. Come get it cleansed. No one wants to have the effects of that nasty, black, oily taint ruining your marriage, friendships, and forcing you to murder everyone. Come get your taint cleansed today. This weekend, due to the Beltane holiday, Nae'Blis is offering 50% off all taint cleansings. 50% off! But wait, there's more. Not only will you get your taint cleansed for 50% off, but this weekend only, you will also get 3 free training lessons with Lan Mandragoran, Nynaeve's husband. He will teach you famous moves like sheathing the sword, kissing the adder, one of his favorites, and of course Nynaeve's favorite form, the viper flicks its tongue. You can't beat these Beltane deals, so come on down to Nynaeve's Taint Cleansing Emporium and get your taint cleansed. You won't regret it.
Well, I'm seeing. I think I'm gonna have to put together the Tar Valon After Dark merch store because we've had quite a few people. People want a Erotica Sedai's Pleasure Palace T-shirt, which I think is gonna,
that may contend with the Tarvalin Harbor Master shirt.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll have to do that. So maybe if everybody's good, we will play some more commercials and you guys can get some more ideas for merch. So it is sort of low-hanging fruit at this point that we don't have merch. So okay. Now, where were we? We were talking about season 2. The only worry that I have, I take that back. That's a stupid statement. I have many worries. But one of the worries that I have about season 2 is the idea that they would take books 2 and 3 and crunch them in, because I have questions. I thought the way that they could do that, they've already taken off the table. The low-hanging fruit to me was have the Shan invade Tyr.
Yep. But they had them go to Falma or the West Coast.
Right. So that already eliminates that. Okay, possibly. Unless they go a different direction with it. But
they could just have shown up to do a tidal wave and then left and sailed all the way around to the south and all the way west to go attack Tyr.
Right. Well, and they did introduce the Horn of Valir. So it's a thing now. So the events
they at least introduced the box that the horn is in.
True. Fair. Sherry. A Harbor Master t-shirt. He loves it. Well, guys, if you want current merch, you can go to shopwheeloftime.com. Okay, this is actually my biggest worry. That's 100% accurate. That would be my biggest worry. That would be my worry. But I'm not really that worried that will happen, because there's about a 0% chance of that happening. I will be the head coach at Ohio State for football before Jim Harbaugh will. So anyways, that will never happen.
Yay, sports ball.
I like sports ball. Hey, look, if you live in Columbus and you're like not a sports person, it's not a good city to live in. Just saying. Speaking of Columbus, this is another wonderful segue. Whatcon. Vance, you're going to be at Whatcon, correct?
I am. Yes.
So July 8th through the 10th. I almost said through the 22nd. That's a really damn long con.
That's a long con.
July 8th through the 10th. We will be doing Whatcon. There will be a lot of people there. We are on our way to selling out, which is kind of cool in our first year, which I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. What Whatcon is basically a lot of us were at JordanCon and we're like, gosh, we wish there were more of these. And because it's so much fun. By the way, if you're not going to JordanCon, go to JordanCon.
I'll be there too.
But we were like, it would be so much fun if there were more of these. And so we were like, well, we started asking around. They were like, yeah, just make another one. And we're like, oh, okay, we'll make another one. So we did.
Yeah.
And so,
and I mean, JordanCon can't handle all the fans anymore. They're capped.
Well, you guys want an insider secret?
They're capped.
You want an insider secret?
Ooh.
They're capped, but not for long.
Uh-oh.
So I'll throw this out there. If you are looking to go to JordanCon, secret, pay attention to the JordanCon Twitter this week. Just throwing that out there. Just pay attention to it.
I think there was already a tweet about that.
Okay, so it's not really a secret.
It's not really a secret. Yeah,
but
they will have 100 memberships available on the 14th.
Yeah, so. they are. That's going to be a lot of fun. And if Whatcon is closer to you and you can only afford to go to one con, come to Whatcon. If JordanCon is closer to you and you can only afford to go to one con, go to JordanCon.
Yeah.
This is just another thing that we'll do, and hopefully it will grow over time. But it's exciting. So it's like, first of all, we have three really very, very special guests. Daniel Green will be a guest of honor there. Michael and Kate Redding, who are the audiobook readers for the Wheel of Time. You'll get to meet them in person. This is the first in-person con they have ever done. Shocking, actually.
Yeah.
It's the first one
Can't
they've
believe
ever
it,
done.
actually. That's exciting.
One of the things they're going to do now, they're one of the reasons they're going to be there. They're going to be raising money for their charity, which is books for
Books for prisoners.
Books for prisoners. They will like record your voicemail. Like if you want to do like if you want your voicemail to be Michael Kramer screaming out like Ilyana,
Ilyana!
right? He'll do it. I will try to get Daniel to bring ice cream for everybody that knows about that joke. But nevertheless, like they're going to be a lot of fun. They're going to be there. There will be some more special guests that I can't announce yet. You can take your guesses where they're coming from. There will be a online option as well. That will come out here soon. But any case, I would love for you all to be there. I can't wait to see everybody at JordanCon and at Whatcon. So,
yep, I'm excited too. It's gonna be a lot of fun, y'all.
Where can they go to learn about Whatcon, fans?
They can go to whatcon.com, I believe. Isn't that correct?
They can. They can learn all about it there. So
look at that.
All the different Dino Green owes me ice cream t-shirts. It's true though.
It is true. He did promise everybody ice cream.
So what is one thing? I'm going to throw this out there to you, Vance. I'm interested to hear the answer to this from you. What is one thing from like book one that they did not adapt that you wish they had? So like one thing that you didn't get to see that you wish they had done. Could be a plot line, could be a location, could be
that. Now that is quite difficult, but I'm going to go for Bail Doman and Matt and Rand and Tom going down the river. I get why they cut that out, because they cut out Whitebridge and to shorten the amount of time we have to deal with Matt and Rand on the road. But I really enjoyed the whole spray sequences, and I loved when Rand climbed to the top of the mast and saw the Tower of Genji for the first time. Just because I mean that was one of the things, along with like the story of Manetheren and Shadar Logoth, that made the Eye of the World and the world of the Wheel of Time in book one feel huge, massive, and ancient. Was just these things. And then of course Whitebridge itself, right? Like you get there and it's a bridge that's like looks like it's made of glass, white glass, but it's harder than anything they know of. So I mean it's just that entire sequence. And plus you get to meet Bail Doman, who is I think a perennial fan favorite.
Yep. I actually very much agree with you. That's exactly what I would say. I wanted to see Whitebridge. Like I wanted that to be on screen. I wanted to see the Tower of Genji on screen.
Yeah.
I also think that doing the Bail Doman thing, I think that could have happened. Had we gotten 10 episodes, I think we would have seen it.
Oh, absolutely.
Primarily because it adds a different locale too. The deck of the ship in that scenery would have been a different location, because one of the odd things that I think people have pointed out is that like, okay, they get separated at Shadar Logoth. They both cross the river, and then it looks like they're in different biomes. Like you've got Egwene and Perrin trudging through the plains, and like it's windy and all this stuff. Yeah. And then Rand and Matt are like traipsing around on their way to Mordor in the mountains. Like,
well, so I have thoughts on that actually.
Go ahead, let's hear them.
Yeah, I have thoughts. My argument is that Perrin and Egwene didn't actually cross the river. They went back on the same side of the bank they jumped in on, but just north of the city, and kept running north, which was plains. If you look at the image of Rand and Matt looking back at Shadar Logoth, you see that it's got flat plains going to the north of it, and then they're heading east up the mountain, which is directly across the river.
Yeah, so I mean, you're allowed to be wrong. So
that's fine.
It's because you already have issues with the whole Tarvalin thing. So
I am not happy with the geography of the show. I will just say that. I feel like I don't know where anything is at.
Egwene and Perrin were in the plains of Moredo, so that made most sense. and they were
Laredo or the Caroline Grass?
Caroline Grass. I'm sorry, Caroline Grass. But and that's what that was across the river. I actually think Matt and Rand are the ones that all got turned around a little bit. But they still stayed in the mountains. But then they made it to a road, so that's where it's like, okay, well, what road were they on? Like, anyways, I say though, I wish that they had the ship because it would have separated them quicker, where it made sense that they didn't look like they were in the same places. It would have introduced a wider world, like you said. We would have gotten to see 2 major landmarks that would have been very cool and world building esque. Just to see White Bridge or to see the Tower of Genji, right? Those would be very, very cool. Alan Animus, I don't mind the fake out deaths at all, Balefire. But see, now they really can't do that. Or they can, it'll just be overused. Like if you kill this to death, it's a problem. But with the fake out deaths. My second place is I wanted to see Camelin. Just because I think Camelin is a beautiful city the way it's described, and it would have been very cool to actually see it. But,
it would have been great, especially the old city versus like the new city. I've always wanted to see that contrast and see how it would be represented. Like I've seen some artwork of it, but it's never been like hyper detailed. So I always thought that would be really cool. Definitely, Camelin is, I think, the city that can most go toe to toe with Tarvalon in terms of like the most beautiful city in the Wheel of Time world, right? So.
Sure, it's described that way. I did see somebody mention this. I love that we got a very short glimpse of the Stone of Tyr, because that is literally. I was talking about this with Corey Lansdale actually at one point. He's an artist, and you should check out his stuff. But
fantastic artist.
There is not one anywhere that we can find any one drawing artist conception of the Stone of Tyr. I can't find one. Nobody has made their own like drawing of it. Pretty much every other landmark we have drawings of. Not the Stone of Tyr.
I think I saw someone take like Uluru in Australia and like paint windows on it once and put the Stone of Tyr on it, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's a stone, but is that really a fortress? Like, you know,
right? Well, and what do you think it looks like? Like, this is a real question because it's one of those things where it's so weirdly described and it's very vague in the way it's described. I don't think anybody has a real idea what it actually is supposed to look like.
So I kind of thought it would look like the Hagia Sophia from Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like, but that's not really a fortress.
That's not a fortress. No, that was a church turned into a mosque. So
right. But it's described as like being super tall. It has its own docks, right? It looks like a mountain. But is it I always thought of it as a mountain. But then it's also described as a fortress. So like now this is probably the closest. So Shansane nailed it here. I always envision the Stone of Tyr as being somewhat similar to Masada, but a different climate. Masada is a fortress near Israel, in near Jerusalem. I can kind of see the same thing, but yet it's gigantic. Did you ever read Redwall? Like the series Redwall?
No, I never read it, but I'm familiar with it.
For those that have read Redwall, I always pictured the Stone of Tyr sort of like Salamandastron, which is like a volcano that badgers live in. Badgers and rabbits. God, I love those books. Those so good. How many Redwall fans out there do we have?
I'm sure a lot, actually.
There we go. I got one Redwall, Twitch Avery. I love Redwall. Who else is a Redwall fan? So far, just Twitch Avery. Rock of Gibraltar, that's another one that I think we could see. Only one
but
Redwall
again,
fan.
That's an actual rock. That's not a fortress. Like that's just a real rock.
Right, but you like hollow it out and then that's the thing is it's described so strangely by Robert Jordan that I think it's very difficult to conceive what it looks like. Right? So anyways, I
love how they basically put it on top of a mountain. And then it's like the fortress on top is carved from the summit of the mountain.
Hold up. All of this, first of all, you have your phone on. All right,
Yes.
are you a 70-year-old man? I'm joking. I have to stop everything right now. I had no idea there was a Redwall animated show. Somebody
at
tell me
that.
where is there a Redwall animated show? I am going to be a total adult and watch this because I loved these books when I was a kid.
Yeah, drop a link
Loved
in
them.
Nae'Blis' Discord server about where we can purchase it
I definitely want to know where there is a Redwall TV series
or stream it.
Okay, here's a new YouTube video. We'll do Martin the Warrior versus Matthias. Who wins? For all you Redwall fans out there, do you think Martin the Warrior could defeat a badger? What do you think? You don't know anything about these characters, so do you think Martin the Warrior could defeat a badger, Vance?
I have no idea who Martin the Warrior is, so
He's a mouse.
he's a mouse. Probably.
You think he could?
I'm
beat a
gonna
badger?
assume I think he's ingenious, probably, and he uses his wits to beat larger foes. I'm gonna assume is the theme of his character since he's a mouse.
He did kill a cat.
That is much bigger than a mouse. So
Yeah. He did kill a cat, but badgers are like the badasses of the Redwall world. Like badgers are.
yeah. Well, badgers are like the badasses of the real world.
Yep. Anyways, okay. And people did not come for the Redwall talk, but okay, we are winding down here. I am going to play another shameless plug. Should we go like ridiculously immature, or
I personally really loved the Horn of Valir segment.
oh, the one where we
Yes, that cracked me up.
hold on. Let me see. I think I have that. We'll play that one.
Yeah,
If I can find it. Here we go. The following announcement is for everyone in Faldara. It's a huge secret, so don't tell anyone. The Horn of Valir is under Agilmar's throne. We can't let enemies find it. If we're attacked, here's the plan. Grab a pickaxe and start hacking at the floor. It will take a minute, it will be loud, and our enemies might figure out what's up before you reach it. So use some elbow grease and really hack the shit out of the dais. If someone evil walks in, here's plan B. Shout something at them. Even if they run for help, they'll know this is a huge secret that they're not supposed to know. Defend the Horn of Valir, because in Faldara, we protect our secrets. We protect them with pickaxes and yelling and desperation.
I love it.
Now,
love
Dana has put out, I've seen a couple times, a request for Marge the Therapist. Unfortunately, Marge the Therapist is too long of a bit. So you'll have to actually listen to the podcasts to get Marge the Therapist. We have more bits other than these commercials. Some of them are just a little too long. Marge is actually one of my favorites, along with Tony the Tinker. We have a write-in where Tony the Tinker will answer your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm gonna play one more just because I think this one's funny and I just like it. So, and I enjoy it. So this is an early one, but here we go.
Spring is coming to the Two Rivers, and that means one thing. Your roof is a fucking mess. Sen Bowie is the premier, and by that we mean only, Thatcher in Emmons Field. With over 70 years of experience, Master Bowie offers no warranty or guarantee of quality, but it's probably better than climbing up there and sticking various flora to your roof yourself. Stop by the common room of the Wine Spring Inn from sunrise to sunset to make your appointment today. Tell him that you think Nynaeve is a shitty wisdom for a 10% discount. Roof Thatching by Sen Bowie. You'll take what he gives you and you'll fucking like it.
I
like
love
that.
the little unaccredited stamp on there. If he's not bonded or insured either, it's perfect.
We can't take credit for that. One of our patrons makes those little graphics. They're
Mhm.
great. So
Oh, that's fantastic.
but anyways, hey Vance, it has been a ton of fun to have you on.
It's been fun.
Tell these people again where the hell they can find you, why they would want to, all of that.
Right. Yeah. So find me, Vance, the Bard of the Red Hand, here on YouTube over at the Bard of the Red Hand. Link down below, as you can see. Come over and just check out my channel. I've got some character deep dives. I was working on a Forsaken series before the show came out, and I need to get back on that now that it's over. But yeah, I also recently just passed 1,000 subscribers like 2 weeks
Congrats.
ago. So yeah, thank you so much.
Did you
was
get
a little-
monetized? All that
No, I
crazy
did not.
cash?
Ooh, I unplugged my headphones. I did not get monetized, to answer the question. Can't cross my arms with these, by the way. Gotta do this.
Well,
Yeah.
one day soon you will.
Soon, yes. Need a few more watch hours is all. But
Yeah, go watch his
Yeah.
videos and get this man monetized.
yes, let's go. I've got like 60 videos up. So
Well, guys, I will be in Vance. You're welcome to join as well. I will be in the Discord server. If you're like, what the hell is Discord, Nae'Blis? Discord is a place that's basically like the new version of message boards, but except it's
Mhm.
live. So we'll be in there in a voice chat. So if you're like, how do I join Discord? You just click the link in the description of this video that says Discord. It'll automatically download and it'll automatically join you into my server. You'll see us voice chatting. Introduce yourself. There's lots of us there, and you get to talk about wheel time all the time.
Yep.
So hop on in. We'll be there, and we'll talk to you all soon. So thank you for joining, everybody, and we'll be back next week. This time, see ya.